Hi everyone, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me, and congratulations on the film. It was a wild, wild ride, but I enjoyed every minute of it. So it's good to talk to you.
We
Um,
all need a wild, wild ride sometimes, Raffy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love a wild ride. So just to start things off, my first question is for Rosamund. I feel like in films in the past, queer characters are often like always tragic victims or like deserving of sympathy, but it's not often we see like queer characters who are like completely nefarious. These like alpha predator types are always played by like straight male characters. And Marla is like the complete subversion of that. And it was again a joy to watch. So I was wondering if you could talk about
That's
like what
very cool.
drew you to Marla, and what was it like playing like this delightfully evil, unapologetically queer scammer?
Yeah, that's it. You've said it better than I could. I,
Oh.
I, I think Jay Blakeson, our writer, he's so casually and coolly kind of subverts so many things that we've,
Mhm.
you know, grown accustomed to because it's all that's been served to us for years and years.
Mhm.
And I think it is really refreshing. He he doesn't make Marla and Fran have this wonderful relationship. In a way, it's the only honest thing about Marla is her relationship with Fran, and he just puts that into the movie for no dramatic purpose other than that is her life, her truth. And as you say, he has written a female character, the like of which we'd have only seen men get to do this, get to do this kind
Mhm.
of thing, and she doesn't ask you to like her, she doesn't ask you to admire her, she doesn't sort of derail the movie halfway through by giving you some terrible sob story, backstory, and ask you
Mhm.
for your sympathy. She's just unashamedly herself. And Aza and I talked a lot about it. It was these characters have no shame, and it's a sort of curious thing, and it's as women, to be so sort of morally bankrupt and yet be doing it so without seeming doubt or worry or moral compunction. It was a very interesting space for us both to inhabit, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, these ethically murky characters are so fun to watch. Like even if you like you can't keep your eyes off of it. And Aza, same question for you. I loved Fran's character and their dynamic between her and Marla, and how ride or die she was for her, and how they gave me like queer Bonnie and Clyde vibes. What drew you to Fran, and what made you actively want to like play her and like yeah.
We're
I
Bonnie and
love it.
Clyde. I like that.
It's
Go,
Bonnie and
go.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonnie and
Yes, funny,
Bonnie.
funny.
Um yeah, it was honestly, it was the script. It was how the script really challenged the audience, what was going to be the ultimate goal. I don't know if it happens to you, Rosamund, but when I read certain scripts, I'm like, what would it be like if I wasn't in this movie and I watched this, right? And would I be interested? And there was all these minimal subjects within the story that was disguised on this con, disguised on kind of breaking the elderly system. And but there's so many nuances and submersive subjects happening within the story that it is really interesting, because I feel like this movie, when you watch it, it really depends on what state of mind you're at the moment, that you will pick up on different subjects, right? It's like for someone, and it can really appease to, that's what I liked about the story. It doesn't feel like an agenda of a feminist film. It feels like just a portrayal of what it's like to want to achieve the American dream and how that is systemically set up for us to fail, let alone if you're a woman, let alone if you want to create an enterprise. Like, what does that look like? And then we kind of rip that like morality from the audience, and it's like, we're gonna go free fall on this film and you can jump with us or not. And what that looks like, it was, and what she was saying is true. There was moments where it's funny because inherently we've been wired a certain way that as women, someone was asking me the other day, we're like, were you guys in between takes like, oh, we're pushing it too far? And I'm like, it's so funny because sadly, yes, there's moments that we were like, is this a little too far? At least within ourselves, probably wouldn't out it because we're fully focused on a scene. But I was like, I don't think men or like no one on the set of The Wolf of Wall Street was questioning this to themselves, or in the set of Goodfellas when they were doing 10 times worse things. You know, they're cheating on their wives, they're killing people, they're cunning, and everyone's on the wild ride. But somehow, why is it because it's women that we are worrying about these things? And I ultimately love it because seeing it with people, I was like, if you use the word unlikable around this movie, it just says so much about you already as a person. Like, it just goes to show that like you have been wired in a way that the system has told you that if a woman is not obliging or complying to the norms of society, then she is unlikable. And I love it because the way she also plays it, it makes it really hard not to be likable because she is so beautiful, and the way that she carries herself is so real and enigmatic and captivating that I believe every moment of it. I'm seeing her, and even being on set with her, I'm like, I believe everything you're saying to me. I wouldn't doubt for a minute what you're saying.
Preach. Love that. I want to see more of Marla and Fran.
Yes, me too.
When they met, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time I have left, but thank you both so much again for taking the time out to talk to me. Can't wait for people to see it. Such a fun writing.
Thank you so much.
Please, you have to email, get me some of your sound bites, some of your lovely descriptions of Marla.
I know, he really knows how to, yes.
Thank you.